Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to shift, create, and manifest anything you want at will. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Another powerful video for you today. I had a conversation with one of you that's really new to the channel and said, Tom, why is it all the YouTube creators, all the coaches, all the gurus talk about this idea that you can create and manifest and shift realities at will? Yet I'm doing that, I'm assuming, I'm imagining, I'm affirming my wishes and my desires. I'm seeing the scene, but nothing seems to be changing in the 3D. The same thing. And someone else commented on the channel with a similar comment. So I want to tie those two together because they both referred to reality as the 3D. Like there's something out there that has to change through your imagining, through your affirming, through your assumptions. Right? That you're trying to change something. The stuff in my head hasn't changed 3D. This was another comment. But remember, that's because you're not changing 3D or manifested conditions. Because there's nothing out there to change. Do you see it? You're imagining, you're affirming, you're assuming from the idea that you're going to change some reality that's outside of you. It doesn't change out there. Remember, you're perceiving, you're seeing, and you're experiencing itself. The act of perceiving, seeing, and experiencing is reality. In other words, it's your experience of ultimate reality. It's the lens through which you see yourself in the world. That's your reality. Do you see? So it can't change. It's like I brought up that scene from The Chosen, the pool of Bethesda, because I love that scene. It's so powerful. It's a metaphysical masterpiece. I left another link in the comments below. But this scene where the man representing the paralyzed man, but really representing that he's paralyzed by his own limitations, paralyzed by his own seeing and perceiving and experiencing of reality, paralyzed by his own lens through which he sees reality, believing that there's something out there that needs to change so he can be healed or whole or complete or fulfilled. This is powerful. They're not out there. Remember, reality, or your I am awareness, is that pure white light of love and fulfillment. It's changeless, right? Your manifested experiences of that pure white light is determined by the color of your lens through which you are experiencing it. It's your lens itself is your reality. Not that white light. White light is ultimate reality. That's changeless. But your experience of that white light, your experience of that fulfillment that you are, that awareness that you are, is determined by your own perceiving, seeing, and experiencing of that reality. The lens through which you see yourself in the world. And if you keep seeing it through, I'm tired, I've tried, like the man at the pool of Bethesda, I've tried, he was crying out, I've tried. Right? You're assuming and imagining that it hasn't and nothing's changed in the 3D, like there's something out there. There's nothing outside. Hear this. There's no reality outside of your perceiving, seeing, and experiencing of it. It's just ultimate reality. It's just fulfillment. So you're experiencing reality as not changing, as undesirable, as unwanted, and that must be your reality. Do you see it? That's powerful. The lens through which you perceive, see, and experience the world is your world, is the world. Do you see it? The lens through which you see it. There's just, think of it as looking out at beautiful white light, but then you have glasses on that have a tint to it, maybe an orange or red or blue tint. Well, then you're only going to see the blue or the red or the orange. You're not going to see that ultimate reality behind it. You see the world through your perceiving, so why not see it the way you desire to see it? See it from your highest ideal. See it through your highest conception of yourself and everybody else, through the love and fulfillment that you want to be. Right? Because here, yeah, you're assuming and imagining and affirming, but from non-fulfillment, from the idea that nothing has changed. and looking for change? Well, then nothing can change because you're the change, your reality, right? You have the absolute free will to choose your lens, to choose how you see that ultimate reality. That's a powerful start today. Let's unpack this. Remember, you're shifting, creating, and manifesting your entire life experience at will out of thin air in every moment. Wow. You ask, well, how come I can't do that? You are doing it. Your entire experiencing, perceiving, or seeing of reality is out of thin air. It's out of you. Out of how what you assume the world is, how you assume you are, who and what you assume to be, who and what you're conscious of being creates your entire world experience. That's why the physicist John Wheeler said there's no out there. There's absolutely nothing out there. This means you're seeing, you're perceiving, you're experiencing is your reality. Hear it again. You're seeing, the seeing itself, the perceiving itself, the experiencing itself is your reality. The perceiving equals the perception and the perceiver. The experiencing equals the experiences and the experiencer. Right? The seeing equals the seer and the seen. This is powerful. Your experience of ultimate reality, creation, existence, awareness, consciousness of that love and fulfillment is your seeing, perceiving, and experiencing. And until that changes, nothing changes. Do you see it? Because you're it. Right? Reality, I am awareness, consciousness is perfect love and fulfillment. But your experience of it is what you say it is. Wow. Reality, I am consciousness. God, that what we call God is perfect. It's perfect love and fulfillment. It's perfect light. It's perfect completion. It's perfectly healed. But your experiencing that perfect reality is what you say it is. Whew. That's powerful. That's why it's perfect and I am perfect is such an insanely powerful mantra and affirmation. Another one of you, one person I talk with nearly every month, this is their go-to. And they're living the life of their dreams. Right? They're seeing everything as perfect. They go, yeah, I know the conditions may not be perfect. My thoughts and feelings about them might not be perfect, but I am. That can shift, create, manifest your wishes and desires at will. And seemingly out of thin air. That's how? Because everything there ever is, was, or will ever be exists here and now. Or not at all. And not at all, or non-existence, or I am not, doesn't exist. By definition, it doesn't exist. There's just I am. There's just existence. There's just the isness of reality. You know you exist. You can't imagine not existing. You can imagine maybe the death experience, but try it. You can't imagine not being, not existing. You exist as everything. If you exist at all, you must exist as everything. There's no such thing as non-existence, right? The circumstances may not be perfect, but I am. The world may not be perfect, but I am. My thoughts and feelings may not be perfect, but I am. That's why that's such a powerful one for many of you that I talk to now. Because that's the truth, right? The changing conditions never look perfect. What we call the messy middle never looks perfect. But I am the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the first and last. I am perfect. So that's what we're talking about. My triggers and reactions may not be perfect, but I am. Do you see? You can allow it all to be there. It's not supposed to be perfect. But you are, right? What you really want and desire is freedom, love, and fulfillment. That's your source. That's why that's where all desire comes from. That's the desire of source, energy, or of that isness of reality to know itself as that freedom, as that love, as that fulfillment. Those are the qualities of source. It's spontaneous, it's free, it's absolute love and fulfillment. Or in other words, to know yourself, the real you, as the one and only source and creator of your reality. To know yourself, I am, as love, freedom, and fulfillment that you already are. All desire is the natural expression, hear this, of the livingness of life. Light, the will to live, the free will to live, to know yourself as life, to know yourself as source. That's where all desire comes from. No matter what it's translated into by the lower linear thoughts of I want a car or a house or a spouse or a lover or a pile of money or a new job or a promotion or world peace, right? Or recognition, or I want to cure world hunger, I want to solve world hunger. Whatever that desire is, it all comes from the natural expression of you as source. It's the livingness of life. Life to know itself as life. The will to be loved. The will to be free. The will to be fulfilled as love and fulfillment. That's what free will really means. Right? It's absolutely freedom of love and fulfillment, to know yourself as that love and fulfillment. That's powerful. I am is love. I am is perfect. I am is fulfillment. I am is perfect love and fulfillment. Everything else is the circus. You remember I used that example when I talked about my scuba diving, and this one master instructor, this one dive master said, Tom, it's about buoyancy and breathing. Everything else is the circus. Everything else is the circus. It's about you as the center of reality, as the center of the divine mind. Everything else is the messy middle. Everything else is the changing circumstances and conditions, the changing thoughts and feelings. None of those matter. You do. Do you see it? That's why Bashar and others say only state of being matters. Circumstances don't matter. Your state of being matters. Creates everything. In A Course in Miracles, it says, when you want only love, you will see nothing else. Well, that's why Jesus, in your I am awareness, that's why I always bring up this scene from The Chosen. If you just Google healing at the show The Chosen, in the scene at the healing at the pool of Bethesda, or healing at the pool, it will come right up. It's the most powerful metaphysical teaching that you could ever imagine. It's just a few minutes. Google it. Try it. I'll put a link below for those that are new. For those that are not new to the channel, know what I'm talking about. But that's why Jesus, your I am awareness, said, do you want to be healed? In other words, do you want only love? Do you want to see yourself as, do you want only love and fulfillment? Do you want to see yourself as only whole, complete, loved and fulfilled? That's what he's asking. That's the metaphysical message. That's the scene at the healing at the pool. And you notice when Jesus asks that question, when he approaches the man, remember the paralyzed man represents parallel, there I go again, paralyzed by 3D conditions, paralyzed by the circumstances, paralyzed by the changing thoughts and feelings, paralyzed by the conditions not changing and feeling exhausted and tired, like this subscriber and this new person that I talked to, this new creator to the channel, right? We feel paralyzed by all that. And the paralyzed man asks, who are you? When Jesus asks that, when your I am awareness asks that, we're not used to that question, right? Do you want to just see yourself heal, whole, and complete? And he goes, who are you? We don't know it, meaning who are you? Right? That's why Jesus asks, who do you say I am? The answer to that question determines everything. It determines your entire life experience. This is you, paralyzed by the manifested conditions, paralyzed by the thoughts and feelings. You cannot see and perceive your experience of your true self. You can't see, perceive, and experience yourself as you are. That fulfillment when you're paralyzed by those outer conditions that you believe that are outside of you. The 3D, like it's some reality out there. It's not, it's you. It's not about ignoring it, or I think there was one of you that I talked to said one of their coaches told them to tell 3D conditions to F off. And I go, well, how did that work out for you? He goes, Tom, it didn't. It all hell broke loose. It got worse, right? It's not about that's not what denial means. Denial is saying, yes, that's one possible form of reality, one possible outcome that's always unfolding, that's always changing. But conditions are conditions, circumstances are circumstances, but I determine what they look like. It's not to reject them, right? I am not, right? The paralyzed man, when he said, who are you? In other words, we're saying, I am not. Nothing has changed. I've tried, right? Looking at his conditions, nothing has changed. We're going to get into this a little bit more. Like the man at the pool, paralyzed by appearances, paralyzed by those changing circumstances. You can continue to complain and wait for something out there to change, like the man at the pool, for the pool or the 3D circumstances or the people, events, or the thoughts and feelings to change. Or you can see yourself as complete, whole, healed, fulfilled here and now. Remember when Jesus approaches him and Jesus asks him again, do you want to be healed? And the man goes into this tirade of, I've tried and I try to get near the pool and everybody walks over me, and then when I get close they don't let me near it. All of that complaining. And then Jesus, your I am awareness, says, look at me. Look at me. In other words, who are you? Be that. That's the I am awareness goes, that's not what I asked. I'm not asking about who is helping you and who is not helping you, whether you're getting near the pool or not getting near the pool. I'm asking about you. Wow. You, the real you, who you are. That's your I am awareness. And then, of course, the man cries and says, I've tried. That's that comment earlier that I showed you. I've tried. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired. I've tried. I've imagined. I've affirmed. I've assumed it. I've tried, but nothing changes. I'm paralyzed by all these conditions, right? I've tried assuming and affirming and imagining, but it hasn't changed anything in the 3D. Like there's some reality out there that needs to change. It's within you. Nothing changes. Jesus, your I am awareness, says, though, in a compassionate way, for a long time, I know you've tried for a long time. And you don't want false hope again. I understand. We understand. You don't want false hope. That's why you're tired. You've been imagining and affirming and all those reality creation promises from coaches and gurus and books from the beginning of time promise you that new life. And you feel like it's false hope. But remember, the imagining, the assuming, the affirming, the processes, the scripting, whatever it is, they don't create reality, you do. Do you see that? Think about imagining and affirming and assuming your reality as choosing it. In other words, choosing what part of that reality that's already real, that's already who you are within you, that you now want to experience physically, that you now want to know experientially as the one source, the one God, and the one reality that you are. That's powerful. The imagining, the affirming, the assuming doesn't change, doesn't manifest, doesn't create or shift anything. You do. You as I am. That's important. The imagining, the affirming, and assuming are great. All those processes are great, but those processes are about choosing which part of all that you are that you want to experience next, to put your awareness on that choice. But it's already created, it's already there. This is powerful. The imagining, the affirming, the assuming, and I use this because this is what this person wrote in that, and also what one of you said, that creator that I spoke with yesterday, does nothing for you. That's what Jesus was saying in this scene. Look at me, look at me. This pool does nothing. It means nothing. That imagining, affirming, assuming does nothing for you. It means nothing without your awareness, without your acceptance, without your recognition that you're already absolutely complete, whole, and healed. Whew. Do you see that? That's what Jesus was saying. It means nothing. You only need me. In other words, yeah, imagine, affirm, and assume, but from that awareness, from that acceptance, from that recognition that you're already absolutely complete, whole, healed, and complete. Complete and complete. Really complete. Do you see that? It's to choose. That's what that's all about. As all that is, as source, choosing what part now do you want to experience? What part of all that you are do you want to know experientially? The conditions and circumstances may not be perfect, but I am. That's that's going on here. Jesus, your I am awareness in this scene, said you don't need this pool, you only need me. One of the most powerful parts of that whole clip, right? You only need the awareness that you are already who and what you desire to be. Imagining, affirming, and assuming is about choosing, hear this, that aspect of all that is, all that you are, and all that you desire to experience physically and know yourself experientially. In other words, this praying or affirming or assuming is not about creating anything. It's an acknowledgement. It's an expression of gratitude and joy for what's already within you, and that you can now know that experience physically as source. That's what that's about. It's a state of love. It's a state of gratitude. It's a state of acceptance. It's not about waiting and wanting and complaining. That just creates a reality of waiting, wanting, and complaining. Waiting is a state of being. Complaining is a state of being. Wanting is a state of being. What do you want? When Jesus asked that, it's not about staying in wanting, it's about declaring it, getting up, picking up your mat, and walking, as Jesus said in this clip. Jesus, your I am awareness asks again, so do you want to be healed? In other words, do you want to see yourself complete, whole, and fulfilled? Fulfilled. My voice is going up. Do you want to see that? Do you want to see yourself as whole, complete, healed, and fulfilled? Then let's go. That's what your I am awareness says. Get up. Pick up your mat and walk. In other words, you're choosing, you're seeing, you're perceiving, and you're experiencing is reality. That's what that means. That you're seeing itself, that perceiving itself, that experiencing itself is the only reality. And the man, if you notice in the scene, the man gets up. When Jesus says, get up, pick up your mat, he's able to get up, he's able to walk. And he goes, who? If you notice, he cries out, who? In a soft voice. Like, who are you? Who am I? What's going on here? I'm it. Because it's about who. The who is you. It's not about how, why, when, where. He didn't ask any of those questions. He cried out in a soft voice, who? Watch the scene at the end of the scene. He didn't ask, how did you do that? Why did you do that? When, where did that happen? What's going on? It's who. The who is you. Don't forget, and then remember, I pointed this out in an earlier video. Simon says to the man, don't forget your bed, right? And then the man who can now walk says, well, why does that matter? And Simon says, because you're not coming back here. You're not ever, remember, you're in a new identity, a new reality. You're perceiving and seeing and declaring and assuming determines your experience of reality. There's no other reality but what you say it is. You're walking now in that new identity. That's powerful. Remember, 3D doesn't change because 3D is not out there. So when you call it the 3D, you're saying there's something out there that I don't like that needs to change. It's your perceiving, your seeing, your experiencing that changes. Your vantage point, your viewpoint. your perception of who and what you are in reality. So imagine, affirm, and assume. Have your imaginal scene, affirm it, make that assumption, but as reality, as the source of all that is, as all that is, as that changeless reality, as that one God. Instead of leaving your mat there, sitting and waiting to see, perceive, and experience a reality differently that appears outside of you, like that man was. Instead, pick up your mat. See it, perceive it, and experience it the way you want to see it, as reality, as source. In other words, your seeing, your experiencing, your perceiving is your reality here and now. See it, perceive it, experience it as you would like it to be, past and future, and as you would have liked it to be, the past. And that is all you'll see. That's why A Course in Miracles says, when you choose only love, when you want to see only love, that's all you see. When you choose fulfillment, when you want to see only love and fulfillment, that's all you'll see, because your seeing is reality. Of that, it's the seeing and perceiving and experiencing of that ultimate reality. So that's how to shift, create, and manifest everything you want at will, because you always are. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on our videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, our TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, and our membership channel, where we're going to have another live stream. This is going to be announced over the next day or two, exclusively to be broadcast on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. It will be our next live event for this year. Stay tuned. We'll be announcing that shortly. You can start sending your questions and topics that you would like to discuss to info@besomethingwonderful.com. Also, as always, I will answer your questions live on the chat during the event. That's exclusively on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. If you're a member, join us. If you're not, just check out the link below. Creators with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.